Hi, welcome. In today's session, we will learn about how we can manipulate the data using VBA. VBA stands for Visual Basic for Application. VBA is a high-level programming language that is a part of Microsoft Office, and we can also use to manipulate the data using Visual Basic for Applications. Okay, so let's start by opening a Microsoft Excel. We are going to the start menu and typing here Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel is executed or loaded successfully. We are going here to select a blank template. Okay, for using the options of Visual Basic for Application, we have to include a developer option or menu here. Here is the list of default menus available in the Microsoft Excel, as the developer option is not frequently used, so that it is not automatically loaded in default settings of Microsoft Excel. For this purpose, we just have to move to any menu on the ribbon, right click on the menu and click on customize the ribbon. The second last option we have to choose here, customize. When we click on the customized menu or customize the ribbon, the customization dialog box will appear here. Here are the lot of options. Other options are available that can be customized for using the Microsoft Excel. These are the tools that can be added or removed from the Microsoft Excel. These are the menu tabs that can be used for the language, save and formulas, and as well as journal editor settings. We can also customize the ribbon. These are the type of tabs, and here is our concerned group of options that we will have to select from here. Okay, after that, the explorer of the entire dialog, we will find here a checkbox or option that is called developer. It is by default unchecked. We have to check this developer option, and after checking this developer option, we will go to on click. After clicking, this developer option will be available here in the menu ribbon. This developer option contains a number of options, or can say tools, regarding with the Visual Basic for Application. Here is the first one, that is called Visual Basic. This tool will be used in our today's session frequently. The second one is the first one is the Visual Basic, and the second one is the macros. We have already take a detailed session, record a detailed session about macros, how we can record macros, how we can change our task using the macros option from the Microsoft Excel. You can also view this from the playlist. For more information about the Visual Basic for Application and macros. Okay, so let's start by clicking on the Visual Basic for Application option. We can toggle to the Visual Basic for Application and to Excel sheet by just clicking on the leftmost option from here. Okay, I am clicking on the Visual Basic for Application. For the timing, we have to explore this entire interface of Visual Basic for Application. Visual Basic for Application, as I have already told you, is a high-level programming language that can be used to manipulate the data in Microsoft Excel and other products of the Microsoft Office, such as Word and other products. Here is the Project Explorer. We can see here the leftmost window or dialog is called Project Explorer. Here will be the all list of objects that are incorporating in the Microsoft Excel, and the bottommost portion is called dialog called Object Properties dialog. This will include the properties of particular object, that may be a worksheet, workbook, or a spreadsheet, or modules, or the classes. Okay, this is the topmost division bar of the VBA. This is called menu bar, and after menu bar we can observe here the toolbar. Different kind of tools are available, such as for execution there is the play button, and for termination of the commands of macros or Visual Basic for Application there is the stop button. There is also a design view. There is a Project Explorer button. Okay, this was about a short intro about the interface of Visual Basic for Application. Now we will move to explore the sheets and workbook. First of all, I would like to share you the Microsoft Excel sheet and its objects and properties. Here Here are the list of objects that are selected from the left hand side from a project explorer. We can select here from worksheet. Here is only worksheet 1. We can also add more worksheet from the Microsoft Excel or using Excel workbook. Here are the list of events that can be handled using VBA. Here we can observe that there are the list of events that can be handled, or we can write event handler using the VBA. I am just selecting a simple event that will show us the implementation of Microsoft VBA. Okay, I am just selecting the calculate event. Whenever the calculation is performed, this event will be called, and in response of this event we are writing some line of codes that will execute whenever this event will be called. I am just writing here msdbox message box. I am writing here the message calculation is performed. Okay, now we will toggle to the Microsoft Excel sheet. Here is no any kind of calculation is performed, so that no message is appearing here. I am writing here 12 is equal to D3. Okay, calculation is performed. Calculation where calculation module or instructions are executed whenever we use the formula. You can also check our lecture and functions. Okay, click on OK. It means the dialog box is working properly. If we change the value here, we can see the calculation is performed on this worksheet, so that the calculation is performed dialog is appearing here, message dialog. Okay, now move to the Visual Basic for application. Again we can see here the multiple other options are available. Okay, we can add here modules, class modules or user form. Before including the modules, class modules and user forms, I would like to share you we can also embed different kind of form controls from here using the insert button from the developer tab. We can see here the developer tab has an insert button that is indicating some kind of tool and toolbox icon. We can use it to insert buttons, command buttons and other form tools controls here. I am using this insert option and inserting a control that is called command button. After inserting the command button, it will automatically open the assign macro dialog box. Here we can record new macro, or we can create a new macro or record a macro using the record option. I am going to a record macro and type here. We can also change the name of this macro. I am for the just being and provide the description here. I am just clicking the OK. The start macro recording is started successfully. We can see here that started macro is started. We can stop it by clicking on the start button. I am just typing here the simple string that is 1 2 3. After typing here the string, I am just going to click on stop macro. This macro is recorded successfully and assigned to the button 1. Whenever we will click on button 1, the macro instruction will be executed, and we can see that the text is manipulated or inserted automatically. This is the basically functionality or simple functionality that can be used to insert the macros using command buttons or command tools or form controls. We can also perform the similar task using the Visual Basic for application. Just go to the Visual Basic for application. Here we can see that the one module is automatically included here on inserted or imported here, so that in the previous I have avoided to include the modules using the insert option. Okay, these are the comments using single apostrophe. We can also apply the breakpoints in the VBA. We can also insert the modules using this module option. We can include as many as we have required. We can also include the procedures in the modules, just clicking on the procedure, and we can also click on user form to insert the user form in Microsoft Excel. This is the user form interface, and these are the properties of this user form. You can see here, these are the properties of this user form. We can use these properties to manipulate the user form. For the time being, I am just trying the property of color for this user form. This is applying successfully, but this color is not very attractive. This color is to some extent useful. We can also see that the some controls are also available here. Some default form controls are also available here. We can use these controls in the user form. These controls can be used to perform any particular kind of task. Okay. Go to the user form again. This is the design view. If we double click on the user form or any control, this will go to the code view of this user form. Okay. We can also show this user form by clicking on a particular button from the Microsoft Excel. I am again going to execute insert an other button, command button on the Microsoft Excel. Now I am not going to record any type of macro. I will click on new button, new option. This will open the record macro or Visual Basic for application for writing our own instructions. I am writing here the user form 1 dot show. Okay, I am writing the command. What is user form 1 here? What is here user form 1? User form 1 is the name of our user form that is inserted here. There we can see here the properties of user form. This is the name of user form. We can observe here, this is the name of our user form. We can use this name in our code or in our program or in our set of instructions. This name can be used to access this user form using the set of instructions. Okay, I am going again to the module. Sorry, this is the module 1. Here I simply write that we have to show the user form 1. Okay, what will be done when we go to the Microsoft Excel and just pressing on this button, the user form is displaying successfully. We can see here we can insert or add as many as user forms in Microsoft Excel sheet for the manipulation of the data. Different kind of cells values can be retrieved and different results can be computed programmatically. As already we have provided the intro lecture about Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel does not provide as many features such as high-level programming languages. To use the features of the high-level programming languages such as control structures, iterations, selective structures, procedures, routines, classes, and modules, we can use get support from the Visual Basic for application. For this purpose, we will just have to include the buttons or controls in the Microsoft Excel and write the codes behind Visual Basic for application. We can see here this is similar to the Microsoft applications as we have already used in the Windows. This is the similar application. We can use this application or these lines of codes for writing in the Microsoft Excel. Okay, again go to the Microsoft VBA for applications. What are the purpose of classes and how the modules are used? We will also create a startup project after the end of this tutorial Microsoft Excel, so that please subscribe our channel for the latest update about the Excel and other high level programming perspectives and information technology tips from our channel. Okay, in the user form 1, we want to display a particular kind of message whenever this button is clicked. Just double click on this button, the button procedure or event will be appeared here. When I double click on this button, I will like to show you here from the left hand side the button object is selected, and from the right hand side we can select any of the following events. For the just being time being, I am using the click option, click event. I am writing here the message box button is, sorry, spell is mistake, button is click. Okay, Now go to the Microsoft Excel, click the button 2 to show the dialog. We can also change the caption of the user form. Here we can see that the user form caption is displaying here, that is the user form 1. We can also change it to the sorting data, manipulating data, retrieving data, retrieving the data from API as our requirement. Now I am going to click on this button. This button event is executed successfully. As we can see that the text, similar text is displaying here. Button is play. Click on OK. But the only purpose is not that we are going to show the display the message boxes using the Visual Basic for application. This is a broad perspective of introducing the Visual Basic for application in Microsoft Excel. As number of time I have told you, this will imply the programming, high level programming paradigms in our Microsoft Office. Okay, again go to the Microsoft Visual Basic for application. Now I am removing this line of code. I am now using the Microsoft Excel range function for the selection of range. We can use here the cells. I am writing here A1 to providing the range. You can go through, I will recommend you to go through the entire sessions from this playlist of Microsoft Excel tutorial to get a better understanding about the functionality about the Microsoft Excel, about the formulas, active and passive cells, absolute and relative addresses, etc. I am writing here the range as, okay, right here A1 C10. We will write here these ranges in double quotation. After typing the dot operator, we will provide here the list of properties that can be used. I am using the value property is equal to let's suppose 300. Okay, and navigate to the Microsoft Excel sheet and click on the button, command button 2 to show the user form. In user form we have a command button 1 where we have write the code to populate the entire worksheet using the value 300. Okay, this is working properly. We can also explore other control options and buttons, and in combination with the Microsoft Visual Basic for application, we can also explore other controls from here. We will also create a project regarding with the manipulation of even odd numbers, date of birth, data processing, accounts processing later on in this series of Microsoft Excel tutorial. But for the timing, I would like to give you a pro tip for exploring more and more about the macros and Visual Basic for application. We see here in Visual Basic for application there are the line of codes or syntax that we will have to remember to manipulate the data. How we can get these syntaxes or how we can manipulate the data using Visual Basic for application. First of all, we have a small icon or tool is available that is called object browser. We can click on this object browser. Here will be the list of entire objects that can be helpful for you for the manipulation or the implementation of the data regarding with the Microsoft Excel. If we have any kind of trouble for the selection, for the finding of the methods or properties that we would like to manipulate in Microsoft Excel, we can search here, such like I would like to conversion for the integers to decimal or to octal or conversion of the string. I just type here cint, or for the layman we can type here the conversion keyword. This conversion will open a library, include a library that is the part of your Microsoft Excel and Visual Basic for application. It will include showing here your that this is the Visual Basic for application library that include all these methods can be used in Visual Basic for application code. One method is that to explore more and more about the Visual Basic and application, and the other pro tip is that we can use the record macro property. We can use the record macro tool from here to learn about more and more how we can manipulate the data. Okay, I am just clicking on the record menu, record macro using the menu. Okay, clicking on the okay, this is going to record the macro. Now I'm typing here in the cells just the random values I am typing here the formula is equal to n by just clicking on this one. Calculation is performed. Okay, I am typing here is equal to n4 plus p5. Okay, this is the process of recording macro. I will strongly recommend you to also view the entire session of Microsoft Excel tutorial to learn about more and more about the macros and other things that are important part of learning about Microsoft Excel. This macro is recorded successfully. After recording of this macro, we will have to go to the view code. This option will be used. View code option, we can see here the macros will be recorded here. This, in these lines we can see here how cells are selected, how formulas are composed, and how other operations are performed. We can also use these operations for the manipulation or the implementation of our Microsoft Excel sheets using the VBA. Okay, at the end of this session, I would like you to welcome in our YouTube channel. Please subscribe this YouTube channel for the latest update and upcoming videos. We will later on discuss a detailed project using the Microsoft Excel. Thanks for watching.